This repair is going to seem very technical in nature. Really, all that's trying to be done is to repair the damage that's been mechanically done to the concrete by an acidic compound. In this case, it was a 3-to-1 muriatic acid to water dilution, with basically the intent to do the damage that was done, to physically, mechanically erode the cement paste from around the sand particles. By doing this, what we've done is actually taken a floor that was polished or smooth and mechanically made it more rough. Polished concrete is reactive, which is why we see a white result in the floor that is unsightly and anybody can see because it looks like a white stain in the concrete. The floor is basically reverted back to its natural color. So what we need to do is to mechanically refine the surface to remove the damage as though we were grinding it for the first time, and then subsequently smooth it out with each of the steps that normally would follow in the polishing process. One thing we want to be really careful about is not extending this work that's done with this machine any more beyond this area than what we have to, because the farther out that we go with this primary cut to remove the damage that's going to equalize it with the area around it, is the bigger we go, the more area we're going to have to cover with the next step to blend that cut into the field area. So the primary cut that flattens everything out, or what we hope will flatten everything out, if we go out an extra 2 feet, then that means the next step's going to have to go out at least that 2 feet plus more, which means we'll actually be making more work for ourselves by having gotten a little too aggressive and opened up more of an area than what we wanted to. We really just want to stay focused on the area of damage and spend as little time there as possible to get it equalized. The deeper we go, we also have to worry about blending that as well. So again, we want to proceed with caution. Now that the mechanical work has been done to remove what we believe is all of the damage, the next step is going to be densification. The mechanical abrasion that takes place as a result of the chemical interaction with the acidic compound has actually broken down the crystalline structure that densification would have originally provided. The crystals that grow between the hard aggregates that make the floor more abrasion resistant have been undone or broken apart because of that chemical attack. But again, that chemical attack has damaged the effect of having been densified before, so we have to reinstall that densifier if we intend for this area to perform the same as the areas around it. One thing I can do is I can put down a little bit of tape to keep myself inside my area, because once the water starts to flow, it's going to be really hard to tell where I've been. And that's where the extra work can come in, because I have to blend everything in when I'm done. So rather than having this small island become very big, I can control myself by only having my machine go out each time about an inch, maybe a little bit more. What I'm looking for on this particular area now that I've done the 200, 400, is I'm looking for any indication that there's any rogue scratches. I shouldn't see any differing colors of white at the outside edge. If I do, what that means is that the refinement at the outside edge is not the same as it is in the center. So as I've refined this area, if I see that it gets lighter right before it gets dark again, then that means this area is not been fully refined as much as this area, and obviously there's going to be a white line right here where the repaired area doesn't fully blend or subtly blend into the field. It's getting much better. The whiteness that was here before, the lighter color, is now blending in better because now we're at an 800 grit diamond and run dry. We still have to respect the fact that when we push outside the area of the last step, we need to go at least an inch out. But honestly, when you're behind the machine, it's going to be very difficult to keep track. So you try to stay inside a contained area, but we are obviously trying to blend the work that we've done here with the adjacent area. So you can see again how the small area of repair actually starts to push out every step that's being done, with the intention that it's going to more thoroughly blend or more completely blend with the adjacent area. As far as the color goes, we still have obviously a lighter area of color because of the work that was done. In time, I believe it will blend in pretty well as far as the color. The problem that we have, and this is going to be a legitimate problem for anybody in the field, is that the area that surrounds it actually has less clarity than the center area already does. So if I go with the next step, which is a 3500 grit, and I bring it up even higher so that it gets more refined and will also get darker and help the blend better, I'm gonna have a big shiny spot in the middle of the floor. It's better than it was. The next step will be with a burnisher. This same result could be achieved with a swing machine, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a diamond impregnated pad over it to try to blend it in with the other area, maybe give it a little bit more of an orange peel if I can, because the surrounding area is somewhat orange peeled. They're not paying me to repolish the whole floor. They're just trying to get me to take care of the stain that was here and to get this to blend in. I'm trying to match an imperfect floor with a process that's brand new. So I really can't go any higher in the diamonds on the big machine because it's simply going to become too shiny. The shine's been restored to basically what the field area is. Picking up the light in the floor, it's about the same. But obviously, the color difference between the few-year-old slab, again about 3 to 5 year old, densified and polished slab is darker because of its age and its use. This area, freshly having been cut open, acid etched first and then cut open, obviously it's going to take time until it matures to the point where it darkens up like the surrounding areas. The damage is gone. We do have now a big lighter color spot. If the goal is to get it to match perfectly, there are other sealers out there, impregnators that could be placed on it that in time as the floor ages will start to blend better, but it could be kind of a band-aid. Maybe even a cut down acrylic. And when I put guard on here and then burnish it, it's gonna be like a Christmas tree in the middle of the floor because it's gonna pop big. And so we might get a darkening, but we're also gonna have a big old shiny spot, which in time is gonna get worn away and probably blend in. But again, this is stuff to talk about with the owner before we get to this point in the process. We want the owner to understand that we're going to make our best effort to get this to blend. Mechanically, it is sound again. Chemically, it is sound again because it's been densified. But when it comes to the overall appearance, the aesthetic value of it, it's better, but we want to make sure the client understands ahead of time that what they're paying us to do, we have truly achieved to the best of our ability based on the limitations of the floor. Thanks again for watching. Any comments, please drop them below. Drop us a like if you like what you see. Feel free to share it. And also, if you want an original copy of this video for any future presentations you may have to give to clients, architects, building owners, whoever it might be, we're more than happy to share this information and make your job a little more easier. Thanks again for watching.